The stick worm, from pay ponds to wild waters, the ultimate confidence bait. From managed fisheries to wild waters, from recreational anglers to tournament veterans, every lure angler has a pack of stick worms in their bag. It's the beginner's confidence bait. And it's the expert's fallback bait. The first time a beginner sees a stick worm, there's always one question: it looks like an earthworm. So is it imitating an earthworm? The stick worm does resemble an earthworm. But in lure fishing, what it actually imitates isn't one specific creature. It represents an entire category of soft-bodied prey, things that are easy to eat and worth eating. Aquatic worms, leeches, loaches, eels, these are all what the stick worm mimics. For a predator, this category of prey means one thing: high nutritional return for low effort. Gulping down a wriggling worm is far more efficient than chasing down a fast-swimming baitfish. Understanding this is critical for beginners, because the most common mistake beginners make with a stick worm is that they can't keep their hands still. So how exactly does a stick worm catch fish? Let's understand it from 4 angles. First, silhouette. The stick worm is slender, soft, and non-threatening. When fish aren't very active, they may not want to chase a fast-moving minnow. But a stick worm slowly drifting right up to their mouth. That's easy to just inhale. Second, the fall. The stick worm's deadliest action isn't when you're twitching it, it's during the free fall. Especially in a weightless presentation. After the stick worm enters the water, it drifts downward slowly. The body shimmies subtly. Some models rock side to side. Beginners need to remember this: the stick worm doesn't work because you're ripping it hard. A huge percentage of strikes happen when you're doing nothing at all. Third, microvibration. The stick worm may look like it has minimal action, but underwater it produces extremely fine water displacement. Especially in clear water, when fish are wary, when pressure is high, this understated, subtle movement is far more likely to put fish at ease than something loud and aggressive. Fourth, mouthfeel. The soft plastic material is pliable. When a fish inhales it, it doesn't immediately register as something artificial. Some stick worms are infused with salt and fish attractants. A fish might hold on to it for an extra second. That one extra second is critical for the angler. It gives you more time to detect the bite and set the hook. Now let's talk about stick worm shapes. They're all called stick worms, but different shapes produce completely different actions and suit completely different scenarios. The first type is the classic straight-body stick worm. This worm is basically the same thickness from head to tail. It's symmetrical. Its characteristics are natural action and stable fall. It's extremely versatile. This is the best type for beginners, because you don't need complex technique. Cast it out. Let it fall naturally. Wait a little longer than you think you should. Then slowly lift and let it drift down again. Repeat. That's it, and fish will eat it. 3 rigs work best with this worm. First, the weightless rig. No weight at all. Just hook the worm and let its own weight carry it down. This presentation is perfect for heavy cover. The weedless hook lets your stick worm navigate dense structure effortlessly. Second, the wacky rig. Hook the worm right in the middle. Both ends hang free. On the fall, both ends quiver and shake. When you give the rod a small twitch, the worm produces an erratic, struggling posture underwater, exactly what triggers a hesitant base to commit. This rig is deadly on pressured fish, when you know fish are there but they won't open their mouths. Third, the Texas rig. Add a bullet weight. Tuck the hook point into the plastic. Maximum snag resistance. Designed for bottom presentation, imitating a worm or leech burrowing through mud. The second type is the tapered stick worm, thicker in the front half, thinner in the back. The thinner tail kicks more easily. Its characteristic is more pronounced tail action when you drag or lightly twitch. This worm works well with a light jig head or a drop shot. When fish are on the bottom, or when you're searching rocky areas and hard bottom, drag one of these slowly with gentle shakes. The key isn't big sweeps, it's small movements that bring the tail alive down there. The third type is the ribbed stick worm. This worm has rings or segments along its body. Its characteristics: more water resistance, slower fall rate, more microfluctuation through the body. The ribs also trap tiny air bubbles and hold scent better. When fish inhale it, there's more texture, more presence. Ribbed worms excel when the bite is subtle, when fish are following but won't commit, when water temperatures are low, or when fishing pressure is high. Pair them with weightless rigs, wacky rigs, or drop shots. If the water is clear and the fish are spooky, and you want your lure to have a larger disturbance footprint, the ribbed worm is an excellent choice. The fourth type is the paddle-tail worm. Its tail has a small paddle at the end. When you retrieve or shake, the tail action is livelier. This worm is more assertive than a standard stick worm and better suited for searching for active fish. So why is the stick worm so irresistible to base? First, understand that base are ambush predators. They like to hide near grass edges, branches, rocks, bridge pilings, and in shadows, waiting for prey to come close before striking. A lot of lures flash past a base's face so fast that the fish hasn't even decided whether to chase before the lure is gone. But the stick worm is different. It drifts slowly. It sinks gradually. It hangs there. This gives the fish ample time to observe, and ample reason to open its mouth. Plus, the stick worm catches both naive fish and pressured fish. Naive fish haven't seen many artificial lures, they see a naturally falling soft worm and instinctively strike. Pressured fish have seen plenty of flashy, noisy lures. They might be extremely wary of aggressive action. But the stick worm is quiet, subtle, and low pressure, and that's exactly what fools them. And then there's the versatility. You can fish a stick worm on the bottom. You can fish it suspended. A weightless stick worm targets fish in the mid to upper water column. A drop shot rig targets fish holding off the bottom. A Texas rig is for fish hugging the bottom. A Wacky or Nico rig makes the head sink and the tail stand up. In other words, as long as you know how to switch rigs, a stick worm can cover virtually every depth zone from just under the surface to the lake floor. That's why so many anglers consider it their ultimate backup bait. Now let's cover the common beginner mistakes and how to fix them. Mistake number 1, working it too fast. The most common beginner error is busy hands, constantly twitching, constantly reeling, constantly doing something. The result? The stick worm's most natural, most deadly action, the free fall, is completely erased. The stick worm is a slow bait. Especially weightless and wacky rigged. This is completely different from hard baits and metal lures. The fall rate is incredibly slow. You might feel like it's been drifting forever, when in reality it's just now entering the strike zone. So when you're not getting bites, it might not be the lure, it might be that you're not giving it enough hang time. Mistake number 2, going too big. A lot of people think big bait equals big fish, so they start with thick, long worms. But beginners should start with a medium size, around 8 to 10 centimeters. Good hookup ratio, more bites, and it builds confidence faster. Mistake number 3, picking colors that are too flashy. Beginners buying soft plastics get easily drawn to bright colors and wild two-tone patterns. But the most effective stick worm colors are actually quite plain. In clear water, go with natural colors, pumpkin green, dark green, or muted brown. In murky water, use black, blue-black, dark red, or high-contrast options. One natural color and one dark color, that's basically all you need. Mistake number 4, not watching your line. During a weightless fall, never close the bail completely. Let the worm take line as it drifts. If a fish strikes during the fall, your line will suddenly accelerate, veer sideways, or twitch oddly. If you see an unusual change in line movement, don't immediately set the hook with full force. Close the bail, gently reel in the slack, and once you feel the weight of the fish, then set the hook. So when fishing a stick worm, your eyes shouldn't just be on the water. Watch your line. Mistake number 5, bad hook set timing. A lot of beginners try to drive the hook home the instant they feel anything. But sometimes the fish is just gently mouthing one end of the worm, it hasn't actually taken the hook into its mouth. The correct approach: detect the anomaly, slowly reel in the slack, confirm you feel weight or movement, and then set the hook with a firm, crisp motion. For Texas-rigged worms where the hook point is buried in the plastic, you especially need a deliberate, powerful hook set. If you're a beginner just getting started, get a few packs of 8 to 10 cm stick worms, 2 colors, and a suitable set of hooks. Learn 2 fundamental techniques, the weightless fall and the Texas rig. Those 2 alone will cover 90% of your fishing situations. And you'll discover something: lure fishing doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes the simplest lure, with the simplest action, produces the best results. That's the magic of the stick worm. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit like and save this video. Any questions about soft plastics, or anything else you want to learn about lure fishing, drop a comment below. Subscribe for practical, no-nonsense lure fishing content. See you in the next one.